2, 1. We are live.
We are live.
Yes.
Yeah. See, he's late.
Bitch, if you don't go put that teddy bear down.
It's still say off air, but I mean, I'm just going to.
There you go.
Are you coming? It's gonna be...
Bitch, we are loud, live. I get this gonna be in the bloopers, right?
It's live.
Hi, we're live. God damn it. How's everybody doing?
I'm great. Fantabulous.
All right.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Okay. So, hello, Blazers. This is our first joint episode. It's new. We haven't done this all before. Well, Hope and 50 are used to doing lives, but we have not done a joint one together because Facebook only allows 2 people. So we decided to do it this way. So welcome. How's everybody doing? Intros, Miss Free, how's your week? Hope, how are you?
Same. Sentiments are the same.
50?
I am sick of white people.
Well,
Amen.
Well, fuck it up then.
So let's get started. Phrase of the week, Miss Free.
say less.
Okay.
It means a phrase used when you are done with someone's bullshit and you want them to stop talking.
Yes.
Usually in a rude, angry tone.
Say less.
Say less.
I like that. That's a good one. On time.
I'm fucking with that.
On time.
Yes. Was it say less?
Say less.
Say less.
Say less.
Amen.
Say less.
Say
I'm
less.
gonna start walking up to bitches like this. Say less.
Yes.
Say less.
Yes. Yes.
Say less.
Into the room with that.
So that was Miss Free's phrase of the week. Highlights of the week. Us. Why not? I mean, we do a lot of highlights for other podcasts, and I think that after the Blaze and Blaze team has been doing awesome these past this past year. So why not? I've been making these joint episodes. Our last joint episode was Dotard, and that was raving reviews on that one. We did get high numbers on that, so that was pretty cool. So I think we should continue at least once a month these getting together for all of us to kind of kiki a little bit. But shall we get into?
Oh, you can see my titty. That is, girl.
Yes, Hope. Look at Hope being a sister. Right.
My turn. There we go.
By the way, I did put explicit content on here before I posted, so parental control. Anyway, let's start out with shout-outs. Shout-outs, we got Issa Rae is developing a 90s LA drama with HBO and Turner House. So you can say amen to Issa Rae.
Yes.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's Issa Rae, and, you know, she's doing big things, she's glowing up, and she just seems to continue to glow up every single year. Insecure was awesome. Before that was Awkward Black Girl. Now she has this new show coming out, which I know will be probably another project in addition to Insecure. So I just wish her continued success because she's Black, and we love her. So...
We rooting for everybody Black. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I am. So.
Issa Rae is the epitome of Black girl magic.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
She's the epitome.
I agree. I
Did she
agree.
have her cover girl?
I believe she took. Did she have a cover girl video out yet?
Did premiere or something?
I thought it did.
Cover girl?
Because she's one of the new faces of cover girl as well.
Oh,
She's
you know, like,
playing.
I don't think that the actual ad has run yet. I feel like I saw something about it on her Instagram.
Okay.
I've seen it national scale yet because I think they're still trying to run the last bit of the Zendaya Katy Perry thing, so they'll probably launch her for the winter/spring of next year.
Cool.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Beyonce's mom.
Girl.
Give birth
Fucking
to
amazing. She does a hilarious, perfect impression of Tina Turner.
Yes.
If y'all haven't seen it, go on her Instagram. My God, she looked exactly like Tina Turner for a second, and it scared me. But you know, it's Beyonce's mom. Tina knows, Mama, Queen Mother. Okay, she can do no wrong. But yeah, that's all the shout outs I have. Do you guys have any shout outs?
I don't.
Okay, cool. Because I've been wanting to get onto the Petty World News. And for those who don't know, this is a live stream. So before you guys know, usually we have commercials between this. When it releases tomorrow, the podcast version will take the audio and put all those commercials in there and stuff like that. But yes, shout out to our sponsors, Atomic Cosmetics. Love you.
Use our code.
Right?
Blaze Atomic.
Use our code Blaze Atomic. Okay, so so let's start out with Petty World News. DJ Envy assures everyone racy Snapchat conversation is fake.
What is that? I didn't even see that.
Girl, bye.
So, right.
Girl, bye.
So here's the thing. For those who don't know, DJ Envy, apparently there was this, he went viral last night, or he was trending last night because of some video that came out saying that he liked it up the ass and some dildo or whatever. Yeah. So it's clear. I didn't see the video myself, but it was clear to everyone that it wasn't DJ Envy. Here's my issue that I had with it. Personally, I don't care what you do in the bedroom. I feel like whatever you do in the bedroom is your personal and private business. I don't want to know unless you're a porn star, and that's my personal business. But you know, like, I feel like whatever happens in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom, and that's between you and that person and God. Okay. And so, but my issue is when they talked about it today on the Breakfast Club. He was making it seem like it was a big deal, and then also other people who were commenting on it was having issues with it. And the reason why people are having issues with it because it doesn't subscribe to the heteronormative of society. And it bothers me because if you leave people alone, we wouldn't have closet homophobes.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have closet homos. We wouldn't have. Oh, and we're gonna get there, 50. I know that's one of your events. We're gonna get there. We wouldn't have pastors pretending that they're Christians or whatever, and then all of a sudden having sex with everybody and their mama. Yeah. We wouldn't have this stuff if you embrace your sexuality and you do you and you mind your business. We wouldn't have
missionary.
But we'll get there, bro. We gonna get there.
But why is he so pressed if it wasn't him?
He wasn't pressed about it. It was the fact that he was saying, "Oh, you know, I'm not doing that thing. You know, I don't take shit on myself." Right.
But first of all, the reason DJ Envy is pressed is because he's homophobic and transphobic and biphobic and don't like LGBT. Period. That's why he pressed. Because my thing is, he wants to sit back and pretend to be all fucking progressive when he knows that he's not feeling it. As a DJ, and as a DJ who's well known, he knows that he has to pretend to be okay with it. But I believe wholeheartedly that DJ Envy, if he had his way, he probably has a fake page out there somewhere where he trolls people and calls them faggots and lesbians and dykes all day. He's never been here for us. He's never going to be here for us. And then the fact that this popped out and people was reading him for dear filth, now that the jokes aren't about Charlemagne being the queen, you and your feelings. Because you know that Charlemagne is gay. And that's about the only gay man that he can deal with, and it's only because Charlemagne garners him a check. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm not gonna go there. Like DJ Envy has been unbout that life, and I really hope that the Lord blesses me at some point in my life to be important enough to go on that show, so I can read him his rights. Because
Yeah.
I've never been here for him in his bullshit ass comments. Okay, he's upset because for once in his life he got a chance to see how it feels to live on this side of the fence, and he don't like it. He don't like that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
said the
Well,
same thing.
Say it.
shit.
Say it. Thank you.
Shut me up.
The,
um, moving on. Speaking of closet homos and what is it? When we have self-hating gays. 50. Would you like to bring up this topic?
yes. So right about now, let me put my wine glass down.
Yes, yes.
We are going to discuss closeted gays and self-hating gays. So I have two questions that I want to pose you all with because this is something that I've dealt with in my personal life, and I just want to get y'all's feedback because I want to make sure that my thought process is aligned with, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna get to the questions. The first question is: do you think the church has played an instrumental role in the perpetuation of confusion in individuals who once identified as same gender loving, but now identify as opposite gender loving?
Girl, bye.
You said,
So,
say it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the church has played an instrumental role in the perpetuation of confusion in individuals who once identified as same gender loving, but now identify as opposite gender loving?
yes,
Gotcha. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think, and I don't want to say all churches because actually, at my where we do a lot of activism and advocacy and things at my group at APLA, with Healthy Him, we had a very similar conversation about this. Yes, last night, and we talked about um how God affects the LGBTQ community, or excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, how the LGBTQ community and just people in general view God. And part of this question came up in terms of how we identify ourselves within the church and how we identify ourselves within society as Christians view us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that I'm at a point in my life where I have a relationship with God. I don't need nobody else telling me who, what, when, where, why. I know when I pray, how I pray, and the relationship that I have with God. So I'm good. And I feel like we've gotten to a point where that we've let process impede progress. And what I mean by that is that we've gotten to a point where we are so busy trying to focus on religion and so busy focusing on the practice of the said belief that we forgot about the relationship with God. You know what I mean? And so in that being said, as he says, in that being said, we've gotten to a point where we've allowed traditions and the church to kind of dictate who we are and how we operate with each other. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I feel like that's become a huge issue with especially in the Black gay community. It's become a huge issue in terms of how we operate with each other and how we operate with ourselves. And that's where I feel like a lot of the problems are stemming from is because they feel like, well, God's gonna hate me because
If I don't do,
if I don't
if I'm
do
not
this.
like this.
Right, exactly. And the problem is that if you had your own relationship with God and you were confident in that, you wouldn't have this problem because you let other people dictate where the hell you are
Right.
in your life and your journey. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna leave the floor to you guys.
That's why, like, I have a problem with the church in general
Mhm.
because people allow the church or the people within the church to dictate what you do with your life.
Mhm.
What you do with your life is nobody's business between you and God.
Right.
Honestly,
Mhm.
Truly.
so people like perpetuating you know same sex couples doing what did you say 50 like marrying people of the opposite sex of them
Mhm.
because they feel like they're
Right.
pressured, and
Mhm.
that's for me is a problem because
Mhm.
what you do with your life is nobody else's business.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's all I got.
Hope.
That's not go to church.
So, so I'm spiritual, not religious, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
difference. And so I create my own vibes with the Lord, our Savior, whomever hears
Hallelujah.
me. And I feel like, as it pertains to, especially with the specificity of your question 50, as it pertains to those people who are gay and then be like, oh, I'm no longer gay, I'm delivered,
Mm-hmm.
is one of those things where I feel like people make that decision based on a couple of reasons. One, it's too hard to just be gay these days.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's not cool to just be gay these days because now gay is it's becoming washed out. People are more so interested in trans people and like the intersex. Nobody cares about the gay guys and girls anymore. So it's like that was last year's news. Okay, you're gay. What's next? What are you now? And so I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people like to ride that train. They like to ride that, oh, I'm different train. I'm doing something new train. And then you got the straight up ones that were playing to begin with, and now they're using God as their scapegoat because they sick and tired of being sick and tired in a lifestyle that they really didn't want to be in. They wanted to test the waters, but then somebody found out and spilled the tea, and they felt like they had to stay because otherwise somebody was going to judge them. So now it's like, I'm going to use the church as my reason instead of just saying, you know what, I never really wanted to do this in the beginning. And I think that also goes back to the church too, because men can't just say, I was just trying it. I was just
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what was going on here, and I wanted the vibe, and then I realized the vibe wasn't for me. Cool. A man can't do that. But what a man can do is say, I went to church and I found the Lord. And the Lord told me that that gay shit was going to send me to hell. And you know what? And I believe that I'm going to go have me 60,000 babies to make up for this gay lifestyle that I've imported on my family. And I'm so sorry. Like, and I feel like it's just too much. Either say that it's not for you, realize that being gay is all that you are and there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to be a scandal all your life, and like understand that the church does not dictate what you get to do with your body, with your bodily fluids, with your mouth, with your ass, your ears, and your nose. Like nobody gets to dictate that for me when I walk in the church house, because the same bitches talking about what I do with my mouth are doing 10,000 things that I would never even suspect to do with my mouth. But you gonna look at me and judge me with yours, bitch. How about you take all 6 of those dicks and that one pussy in particular out of yours before you judge mine? You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just kind of like I can't subscribe to that, and I can't tell other people how to deal with their demons. But what I can say is the church does play a huge part in it, because especially when it comes to gay men and gay men of color, they feel like if they're going to revert or and be delivered, they have to do so through the will of the Lord and not any will of their own. You know, and I feel like that's unfortunate that as men of color, you cannot just honestly say, you know what, I made a decision and I realized, you know what, it's not for me. You got to come up with this elaborate ass excuse and be baptized by the Lord 6 times just to say, you know what, this is not for me anymore. Like it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. That's where I'm gonna leave that. I'm sorry.
There's just too many like hypocrites in church that I don't.
I
Right.
agree.
Like,
Right.
what the fuck are you talking about? You don't even know what you're doing. Like,
Right.
Right.
Right. Like your husband cheating on you with 6 different bitches. You low
Right.
key the ministry of music person, but then y'all got the nerve to look at the faggot crazy when he walk in church on Sunday because y'all saw him at the gas station pumping in his shorts. Like, what? Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's what y'all mad about? But everybody else in their mama is fucking and stuffing cornholes every other day. But y'all
Right.
mad at the little boy being caught at the gas station in some too short
Say
shorts.
that.
Like, I don't understand, and I don't understand the idea of how they use the gay people when it's convenient. That bullshit where everybody got a gay music minister. That ain't no. That's not what is that? That's not like the Bigfoot in the room, bitch. That's at every church you go to. Every church you go
Mm-hmm.
to, it's a little gay boy playing the piano or a little gay boy up there twiddling his motherfucking thumbs in front of y'all choir. But
Bitch or ushering.
or ushering, doing the 2-step. Doing a 2-step with an extra swing, bitch, right on down the aisle past the collection
Playing that
plate.
tambourine.
Right.
Okay.
But it's just like, outside of that, outside of the talent, outside of being the talent and the main attraction and creating the main attraction that makes people want to come to your shit, Makes people want to come and listen to your bum ass choir that wasn't good before he got there or she got there. Now you bitches want to sit around and pretend like, okay, you know, we have love for our brothers and sisters, but we're praying for them. No, bitch, you're not praying.
Girl.
What you're doing is praying that I don't ever wake up and come to my senses and leave your ass in this rut and go find somebody that really loves me for who I am and celebrate God there. That's what you're praying for. You're not
Right.
praying for, you know, like that. Hypocrites as fuck, free. Hypocrites as fuck. I can't deal. I
Girl.
can't.
Whew.
That was a good
That was
ass
too much.
question.
I have another question. There's a second question though. Do you think that the church has brainwashed individuals into believing that the sacred act of marrying someone of the opposite gender is the cure for homosexuality, bisexuality, and lesbianism? Why
No.
or why not?
I'm gonna say no, and this is why, because I feel like it is a choice to accept what you hear and ingest into your spirit. But there's news and there's shit that comes all over the place from social media and things that we watch on TV. It is our choice. Just because I watch it does not mean that I need to know that fucking Pennywise is gonna be right there in the corner every goddamn week. You know what I'm saying? Just because I see something on TV or I see something on Facebook does not mean that I need to believe it and I need to apply it into my life. But you're choosing to give up on your community that has had your back. You're choosing to not live on your own truth. You're choosing not to be happy. So and even if you are, some people actually do want to test it out and see if this is something that they are, and that's fine. They should have the freedom to go ahead and see and explore that option. Just like, you know, and this is one of the things that kind of pisses me off is that when women do it, when they go and say, "Oh, you know, I had fun in college days," you know, and stuff like that. Oh, okay, that's normal. But when guys do, "Oh, he's a fag," you know, he's gonna be a fag for the rest of his life. That doesn't make any sense, and that's where you get the DL men from, because then you're sitting there shaming them, and you're sitting there making them feel like they can't live in their truth and they can't explore who they are and explore their curiosities. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to have a tickle in your ass and a fiddle in your face. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that that is something that you want to do and you want to live in your truth, you need to go ahead and do that. That's your business. Nobody else is going to tell you, because at the end of the day, you are paying your bills. And in the words of my system is free, if you're not fucking me, financing me, or feeding me, I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I I have to say that I don't necessarily agree with you on that, your response to that question,
Mhm.
because I personally feel like a lot of people aren't as strong minded as someone like yourself, or someone like Miss Free, or someone like me, or someone like Hope. A lot of people have been raised in this traditional mindset that homosexuality, bisexuality, and lesbianism is wrong. And if you are either of the few types of sexuality out there other than heterosexual, you're condemned to hell.
Mhm.
And the reason why I feel like certain individuals have been brainwashed into believing that marriage with someone of the opposite gender is the cure or the end all to homosexuality, bisexuality, or lesbianism is I pay attention to situations. Like I told y'all, like I've been in situations where individuals of the same gender that I've dealt with, they've gone through this process of saying things like I'm ready for a natural family. I'm ready to make a natural family, or I'm ready to marry the woman of my dreams, and so on and so forth. And when I pay attention to these situations and these scenarios, it goes back to the church. Like they're all like really big in the church. If they're not big in the church, they have a friend who is, and each individual involved have gone through this situation where they're like either engaged to a woman, or they have this random desire to be with a woman. So I feel like it depends on how strong of an individual you are, and how much you allow the church to influence you.
And I hear you 50 on that, but here's my thing.
Mhm.
You can sit here and have, regardless of whatever's going on in the world, you are who you are. Whether
Right,
you're being influenced, whether
right.
whether you're being pressured, You can sit there and never have sex with a person at all. You're still going to be gay. You know what I mean? So, you know, and freaking sit here and never have sex with anyone, and she's still gonna love dick. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still going to be a heterosexual woman. I'm still a gay man. And the thing is that even though that there's pressures out there in the world, and even though that there's influences, like regardless, let's put the church out of the situation. Let's look at society and how they view us, you know, as LGBTQ. Regardless of what they say out there, if you go into a room, you're still going to be a gay man. You're in your room right now. You're still gay, huh?
I think like, and my question wasn't, when I say the cure, I understand that marriage is not going to cure homosexuality. The question was, I feel like the church has brainwashed people into believing this. I know, Matt, you going out marrying a woman, marrying somebody of the opposite gender. I know that's not going to cure the fact that you are attracted to men, or that you're homosexual, or you're bisexual, or you're lesbian. I know that, but the church confuses people. Let me just say, the church confuses people into believing that that is the case when it's not the case.
And go ahead, Hope.
I don't think that it's the church, 50. What I think it is I think that, like social media, people have that monkey see, monkey do mentality. So what happens is, one queen in the church says, I'm going to go get me a wife. I'm going to go have me a baby. And no matter how unhappy, unfulfilled, ridiculously horny I am on a regular basis for men, I'm going to pretend like it's all good. And we going to post these Instagram pictures. And I'm going to make all of my gay friends who I used to roll with at the club feel like this is it. Because what I think is that gay people know what gay people go through. Trans people know what trans people go through. Lesbians know what lesbians go through. And so you know what they do? They sit back and they say, I know this bitch is hurting. And I know what it's like to feel like you at home and you going through this bullshit with this bitch over here, this nigga over here. You alone. You ain't got nothing. You feel like you can't have a family. And then they go and they do all of that shit in 1 year. And all of their friends are sitting back and they going, damn, bitch. Fuck. Bitch, you saw Derek? He got a wife now. They just had a baby. That baby's so pretty, bitch. I went to the wedding. They look so happy, bitch. I don't know if this shit for me. I don't know if I want to keep messing with niggas, bitch. They play too much. And that's the brainwash right there. I don't think that it's the church. I think that it's the people in the church that want to be so correct, that want to be so natural. And they go perpetuate this lifestyle that looks like it's glittering from the outside, and no matter how much that shit's crumbling, no matter how much he's cheating, watching Pornhub, subscribing, no matter how comfortable she's pretending to be, no matter how many times she get a new hair weave for her new husband, she's still a lesbian and he's still gay. And that has nothing to do with the church. It has everything to do with the idea of defending what the church stands for, because I believe that if I'm a Christian, I have to like these things. And then other people buy into that dream.
And when I say the church, let me just clarify this. When I say the church, I use that term lightly. I don't mean the church as a whole.
Okay.
I mean certain individuals in the church.
Then yeah.
Okay. All right.
Those church goers,
right.
I think they're doing
the Bible thumpers, those individuals. Those are the individuals that I'm talking about.
Bible thumpers.
Yes.
But you know what? When you say it like that, though, 50, when you say Bible thumpers don't want, real Bible thumpers don't want gays in church.
Right.
I think it's the gays.
That's another, right.
In church. It's the gays that want to be in church that I think are the brainwashers. Those are the gays that are stuck between that crossroad of I'm gay and I love the Lord. But I think those are the brainwashers. Those are the ones that come and infiltrate spaces with their bullshit ass rhetoric because they try to put themselves out. And then they pull that shit onto somebody who's young, new, or somebody who's in the middle of a midlife crisis with their sexuality. And they pull them into that bullshit. And then that person pulls somebody else in. And that person pulls somebody else in. So in that retrospect, I think, but I don't think that is necessarily the Bible thumping ass.
Right.
It's the be apart, but don't know how to do it without bringing somebody down.
Do you think that a lot of where that conflict comes from is because, society as a whole believes that it's just easier to be a cisgendered person as a whole? Like, that's where a lot of this conflict comes from, not just like the church or, you know, not necessarily where you live, but in general, it's easier to be that way or want to be that way, and it's a much harder lifestyle to go down that way, having to deal with all of that, trials and tribulations of being a gay man or a gay woman.
It's easier because society has made it easier for them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of times people marry people that they're not happier with because on the outside it looks like, this is easier for me to do because I am accepted this way.
Right.
I'm not accepted being that way.
Right. And I would say for me personally, because I was married before and I know what it is to go back in the closet and try to hide who I am and not live my truth. Mm-hmm. And so I understand those pressures. I understand those frustrations. And I understand why one would want to do that for whatever reason. There's multiple reasons, and sometimes it compounds onto so much. But I will tell you that it's so much, with all the bullshit that comes out in the world, it's so much easier for me to live my truth now as who I am, and knowing that I'm a proud gay black man, and just knowing that this is just who I am, and being happy with that. Because everybody else can say whatever the fuck they want to say. At the end of the day, I'm happy. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the confusion comes in, because we're so busy trying to make other people happy, and we're so busy trying to make society happy, and we're so busy trying to live in that narrative that's dictated to us, that's saying, hey, this is what you're supposed to be, and this is the box that you're supposed to fit in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I understand now. I mean, I was just like, I'm like, bitch, what the fuck is happening around me? I had to had to tap myself on the shoulder and pinch myself, like, bitch, are you gonna be next? But I was just like,
but you also have to realize, 50, at the same time, you have to look at the demographics of where you are too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're where you specifically live is in the heart of you're in the South. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier for me and Miss Free to say something because we're on the East Coast, the West Coast. I'm originally from the East Coast in New York, still a very progressive state. And so, like, it's easy for me to say something. It's easy or easier, rather,
to come out as gay lifestyle. Whereas if you're from, like,
Podunk, fucking Kansas, you know what I'm saying? It's harder in that retrospect, because number one, you're dealing with a double minority. You're dealing with an African American or a black cultured person, and you're dealing with somebody of the LGBTQ community. So it's a double minority, and with this era and what's going on right now in our presidency, or in this presidency, y'all's presidency, not ours. Okay. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? So I commend those who are brave enough to live in their truth and continue to live in their truth. Even in states, where you are right now, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? And I can't speak for Nashville, because I know that that's where you are. But I do know it's a lot harder down there. You know what I mean?
Right. And I understand the struggle. And I guess another part of the concern is, like, the cisgender woman that's on the other end of the spectrum. It's like, you're fooling this bitch. Like, I would like to know the conversation that you had with her. Like, did you, like, Miss Free, you being a cisgender woman, if a guy came to you and they said, I've had my share of run-ins with same gender individuals, but I think at this moment I'm ready to be with someone of the opposite gender, how would you feel? Like, how would you take that?
Well, first of all, I would wonder why.
Right.
Now, it's up to you if that's something, because sexuality is a spectrum of things, right? Mm-hmm. So you could be in love with a man one day and be in love with a woman another. That's That's totally fine. You know, but I would question, you know, well, why do you want this life?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
what is the background behind your choice in doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
truly wanting to do this because you're in love with me as a woman, or are you
Mm-hmm.
just choosing this lifestyle because you think it's going to be easier for you?
Right.
That would be my question to
Right.
that person that's coming at me like that.
Right.
Honestly,
And I agree with that because I do feel like for you know, I know I predominantly, am attracted to men. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that I've had my share, of situations with women as well. You know what I mean? So, but I've actually been in love with a woman before, and so like I understand that sexuality is fluid, and I can possibly be in a relationship if it's the right woman. You know what I'm saying? If it's the right person, and I think that in that perspective, ultimately it's a matter of society allowing us to be able to
Do those
explore
things.
that and being able to be comfortable saying, I'm comfortable with this person.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a man, a woman, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's where the problem comes in because there's a fear and there's phobia regarding the exploration of sexuality.
Mm.
Yeah. You got a friend, girl. Oh, there you are. I was like, what happened?
Sorry.
I think we spent a lot of time on this topic.
But no, y'all helped out a lot. Y'all helped out a lot. Thank you.
Nothing that matters.
I kind of want to go into the men section now, unless you guys have other hot topics.
No,
Okay. Did you have event 50? Because I know Miss Free normally doesn't have events.
y'all already heard my vents.
Okay. So I'm gonna allow ladies to go first. So Miss Hope,
Kwame, you are a lady.
shut up.
Anyway, so I'm sorry because that was that just took me somewhere. I don't know where that just took me, but it took me somewhere. So my vent session is about Inez, the new transgender Playboy. Uh, she's First of all, I don't like the headline. I don't like the fact that they discredited the two other women that have been openly trans and in the magazine in the 1980s for the sake of media to get attention because she was not the first transgender woman to ever grace the pages or be on the cover of Playboy. That's
Yep.
number one. Number two, I had an issue, and I spoke about it last night on my live with the way that she presented womanhood, which was just by saying that being a woman is just being a woman. And as somebody who is filtering through my womanhood and living it as a woman, I tell everybody all the time, I know in my head, I can't speak for every transgender woman on the face of the earth, but in my head, I know that I am not a female by any means on any day of the week, but I'm a woman all day, every day. And I think that to discredit womanhood by just saying, oh, being a woman is just being a woman, oh, bitch, you got pretty privilege. And you think because you woke up one day and somebody told you that you was cute for a living and that you can make you a coin, that you don't have to abide by what it means to truly be a woman in today's society and deal with sexism and misogyny and getting a lower pay grade and all this other bullshit that happens to us as women just because we're women. And I think that for me, even though I'm sure, and that's why I give Inez a slight break, I'm sure that that statement was a part of a larger statement that the media broke down to cause controversy. But the fact of the matter is, she said it. She still said it. And I feel like as transgender women, we're already at odds with cis women all the time about this very same fucking issue. And then for you as a trans woman with this platform, knowing that it was going to hit the fan, to say something like that and to not think about your words carefully before you use them, it was insensitive to all women. It was insensitive and did a disservice to trans women. And I feel slighted because I feel like every single time we get a chance or every single time we have somebody, that steps on a platform for us, they always fuck it up. They say the wrong thing. They never say enough. They don't say anything at all. And it's just, it becomes this thing where it's like, oh, she trans and that's all that matters. But what is she doing for the community outside of being trans? What are they doing? And I just remember talking to a lot of the hopefuls last night, and they were saying that they feel as though the level of passability has a lot to do with the disrespect that comes from a lot of trans women on these issues. And I feel as a trans woman, there are certain things that I cannot defend. There are certain things that I'm not going to defend when they're just wrong. I'm not on the side of trans women all the time. I'm on the side of whoever the fuck is right in the situation. And I remember when the story first broke on the Shade Room, you know, the Shade Room is just shady as fuck. And so I was just like, y'all just mad because she trans. But then when I got to see it again on Facebook, and somebody rephrased the question when they posted the picture, and the women underneath were able to have more elaborated conversations about why they were upset. It ain't the fact that she trans, because they don't give a fuck. It's Playboy. Niggas gotta look at that and read that. Women don't give a fuck about the fact that she's on Playboy. Women care about the fact that she's discrediting womanhood and trying to reduce it to this small ass emblem of stuff, when we all know that it's bigger than. I remember having privilege. I remember being able to walk in a room and say what the fuck I wanted to say and shut anybody with a lower voice tone down because I was a boy. And now, as a woman, I know how it feels to sit in spaces and men overtalk you, and they use their baritone to reduce you to this little ass girl as you're sitting there saying shit that's way more valid than what they have to say. But because they have a dick in the balls and they're wearing a suit, your opinion doesn't matter as long as their mouth is open. And it's not fair. And so for her to do shit like that, for you to belittle the idea that being a woman is just a woman when you have to be a mom, and you got 5 and 6 kids to feed, and one of your jobs is fucking niggas for money, bitch, that's not just being a woman. That's being strong as fuck. And for you to do that because your job in this lifetime is to make sure your tuck don't slip out is a problem. Like that really fucking bothers me. So I feel like if you're going to be an advocate for the community, you can't just be like, oh, everything that trans girls say is okay, because that wasn't okay. It was reductory as fuck. And if anybody, like Laverne Cox, decides to say like that was okay, like she usually does, because she's here for all of the shits and she doesn't really read the stories. And most of them don't really read the stories, because once they start getting cute, the stories don't matter anymore, because it's like, oh, now I'm passable. I'm good. So the rest of you bitches got to find your way. And I don't like that, because I felt like that's what that statement was. Being a woman is just being a woman now for me because I'm cute. And these people put me on magazines now. So the rest of you bitches got to find your way. And it just that I can't. I can't. I refuse. I'm sorry.
That's powerful, and that's real. And I can't speak for to that, or not. I'm gonna say to that. I can't speak for that, but what I can say to that is that as someone who is trying to learn more and become a better ally to trans women, it's hard for me to say anything, because I do understand the struggles that, you know, the LGBT community faces on a daily basis, but at the same time, there's still shit within our community, and there's still issues that are going on that we need to fix within the community, whether it be the LGBT community or even the Black community. There's shit that we need to deal with, and we can sit here and perpetuate, you know, this thing where it's like, you know, oh, you know, we're so inclusive, we try to do all these things, but we have issues within our community. And so if those things are not addressed, and those things are not, you know, if you try to put everything with a bow tie and paint it pretty, that it's not helping the situation. It's just perpetuating more bullshit, and it's giving the other side a reason to say, oh, look what they're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's and I'm very careful about who I say is a good representation for the trans community, because I don't just throw out any old famous trans woman that comes out there. You know what I'm saying? If I legitimately am trying to, you know, to say something, I will say and mention people who I know who are actually in the struggle and who are doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Who are actually on a day-to-day basis doing something to perpetuate and to push the agenda of making sure that trans visibility is seen. You know what I'm saying? And that trans visibility is brought to the forefront, and the issues, the real issues that are being brought up are being brought up. You know what I'm saying? Not just about, oh, who is, you know, not as clockable, you know what I'm saying, or who is clockable. It's not about that. At the end of the day, this person is living the truth, and they're trying to be real about it. At the end of the day, they're just like everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
I think I have the biggest issue with a lot of those things because we're not just like everybody else. When it comes down to being a trans woman, you're not like every other girl. And there are certain things that you got to understand, and there are certain spaces that you don't belong in. And that's one of those things that it takes me a lot, because even some of my allies, cisgender female friends, are like, hope it's okay. And I'm like, no, but it's not, because I don't know how that feels and I can't speak to that. And so for me to give you my opinion, it's a little off base, because as a trans woman, there are certain spaces that I wouldn't allow cisgender women to speak on because you don't know. So you
Right.
can't sit back and mind your business. And I'm gonna do the same when I'm in your space and I don't know. When we're talking about general topics, when we're talking about misogyny, when we're talking about the things that we all go through, sure. No problem, girl. I feel you. But it's kind of like trying to be the head person over a seminar about childbirth and you've never even had sex. How you gonna do that, sis? How you
Right.
gonna do how you gonna do it? And so it's just like, when we speak about those things, I am careful about who I call an advocate, because some people are not advocates. They were just in the right place at the right time and got a
Right.
camera. There's a difference with being an advocate and being in the right place at the right time, or being on the right person's radar. Because we all know that Amaya Scott ain't an advocate for nobody but weave hair and bomb ass makeup. But she was on Lee Daniels' radar, and therefore she's on TV. She didn't get on TV from her efforts for the LGBT community. She didn't get on TV for her efforts with the trans community. But she was on somebody's radar. Laverne Cox, she wasn't doing advocacy work before. That bitch was trying to be an actress. Then she got her big break, and then all of a sudden it was like, because you was clockable and everybody was talking shit about you when you first came out, when Orange is the New Black came out, and you was real shouldery, and then you had that first season, and your little body started to chisel away slowly but surely, and now all of a sudden it's a trans note here, a trans note there. When they give me a coin to say something, I'll say something here. It's not the old Laverne when she came out. Janet Mock, when you first came out, you made this big old statement. You were gung-ho for the radio show. You wrote a fucking book. And then you had the nerve to get on Breakfast Club and say, I'm sick of doing Trans 101. I've done that already. Bitch, you'll never be done doing that. As long as you're transgender and you chose to bring your ass out that box, sis, you're going to forever be doing Trans 101 until people get it. Because you made the choice to be a voice. You made the choice to come out and say, I'm Janet Mock and I'm a transgender woman who made it. And so I'm here to educate. That's what you did, hun. So you cannot come back with your second book because you made your check off of doing Trans 101 and say, I just want to be a girl now. I got a husband. We're going to adopt a baby in a minute. And so I'm sick of you bitches asking me how being a trans girl is, because I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer speaking on those things. It's unfair. You cannot be an advocate to the community and get sick and tired of advocating. That's not how it works, hun.
Right.
That is how it works. Because you could have stayed in that stealth-ass closet and nobody would have ever known. You could have done that. But now that you've done that, and now that you've put yourself on the forefront, now that you've given yourself that front street, boo, you got to be out there. You got to do that. It's like Black women saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to go out here. I'm going to do this shit for Black women. I'm going to make sure that Black women's voices are heard. She writes a book, becomes the #1 bestseller, gets her mention in Malibu, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm sick of talking about that. I want to talk about how to be a homemaker now because that's my reality. No, bitch, the reality is all I know you for doing is giving me encouragement as a Black woman, and I still need that. You can be Susie Homemaker on the weekends, but I still need that original message from you, babe. You can't just take that away from us.
Right.
When you put yourself out there, you got to be willing to deal with what comes with it. No
Right.
matter what your look does, or no matter what your life does underneath it. And yes, it's strenuous and it's boring. As a makeup artist, you think I want to talk about fucking makeup all the time? Hell, fuck no. But the second a bitch see me with a bomb-ass wing liner, guess what Hope got to do? Explain this bomb-ass wing liner. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put yourself out there and then expect people not to come at you for that information and those questions. You can't do, you just can't. And I feel like with her being the first, since that's the way that they put it, and she knew that that was how they were going to print it, with her being that first girl, she knew those questions were going to pop up. She knew that that was going to cause controversy. And the fact of the matter is, since it's happened, she has not apologized. She has not made a statement explaining herself. I'm not saying that you got to apologize to women all over the place, but at least explain what the fuck you meant. Because the interview itself, after I read it, was still very dismissive as fuck. It was like, I'm cute, and now that I've made it, fuck the rest of them bitches, because this is how it is. And all the pretty girls, cis or trans, this is how we feel. Pretty girls around the world don't owe a bitch nothing because we get through life off of this right here. That's it.
Right.
But I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
So, here's my thing. We get a lot from, in terms of Pyro Media, we get a lot of requests for people to be our sponsor. And for people to come on, hey, can I be, a sponsor for Blaze? And it's very appreciated. It's very much, wanted, especially when it comes from Black businesses or Black-owned businesses. But let me tell you something. Black community, customer service, pay attention. Customer service is very fucking important, okay? I did tap the screen, honey. Okay, customer service is very important, okay? In addition to customer service, making sure that you know how a business is run is going to make sure that you have a sustainable and influential fixture when it comes to your business. You can't just go out to be like, yo, I got $20. You got $20 on the CD, homie. It's not like that. That's not how you're gonna be taken seriously. If you don't have a website or a something to where people can look at you and say that's a legitimate business, then what is the point? You cannot come to a network, especially a podcast network, or even any type of media outlet and say, hey, I want to be a sponsor for you guys, but then you don't have the means when we have people who are across seas, international people, asking for our sponsors and our things or our codes, and you can't ship it to them, or you don't have a means to ship it to them, and you have not created or structured a business plan to be able to do that. Get your mind right. I don't care what you're selling, whether you're selling cookies, fingernails, whatever you want to do and you want to sell it, that's all fine, boo-boo. But yes, sis, whatever you want to do, make sure that you are legitimate and you're being able to stand up against other companies that are out there being able to mass produce. Because at some point in time, people are going to look at us and say, oh, well, you have this company, you have this, Atomic Cosmetics, you have We Buy Black, you have Audible.com, you have this and that or whatever. And they're able to supply and get to our audience. But if you're not going to have a business and you're not going to have a legitimate situation for you to go out there and anytime somebody calls you for an order, you're like, yo, what's up? Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? That is not going to create sustainable, legitimate, generational wealth for our community. You cannot sit there and have a situation and have people come to you and we're asking for you to have a legitimate situation and be able to brand out and to create a brand, and you're out there acting stupid on Facebook. If you're talking shit on Facebook, if you are on your social media and you're also selling your business, but you're also putting out drama, what the fuck? That's not creating a brand for yourself. That is not creating a focused business for yourself. And if you want to have your personal stuff or whatever, that's fine. Keep your products and your personal life separate. That's it. And if your personal life aligns with your products, that's fine. For instance, what we talk about is our everyday life. When it comes to After the Blades and Blades Entertainment, we talk about our lives on a weekly basis and what being Black or being a Black gay man or being a black woman is on a daily basis in our area. Hope and 50 do the same thing for where they are. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of the brand. That is what we're here to do. So of course we're going to talk shit because shit, there's fuckery in the world. But if you're sitting there selling, paper cans or whatever the fuck you're selling, and you come to me and you're writing down a receipt, or you have you don't have any way of legitimately having a way for a customer to come to you in a legitimate way, you're not going to look professional. You're not going to look legitimate, and it looks silly. And it's not a way to approach somebody, especially if you have a business and you don't have a business plan. What's your 5-year plan? Have you done market research? Have you looked at the competition in your area? Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to go to that company. You're going to say, hey, can you solicit my stuff? Or can you go out there and put my stuff on your page? Can you go out there and advertise my items? Okay, so I'm going to go to your stuff and I'm going to see You don't have a legitimate website. You don't have any way for my audience or my customers to be able to order from you other than by calling you on your cell phone. You know what I'm saying? And so what you're going to do is you're going to go out, I'm going to go out there and find somebody else who in your area who has a better business and who has a better business model and ask them if they want to be on the show or ask them if they want to be a part of advertising things. We have to do better as a community. We can't say, oh, you have to buy Black-owned stuff, or we have to stay in the Black community, and we have to do all these different things if we're not going to present ourselves in a way where we can become marketable. And I'm sick and tired of us not doing the work. You think that just because you have talent, that you can just gonna sit there and just have your talent out there? How are you marketing yourself? You can be pretty. You can be a great dancer. You can be gorgeous. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you don't have any way to market that, you're not doing anything. It doesn't make any sense. You're not legitimate. Nobody's going to take you seriously. So my encouragement, my want for Black businesses to do is to get themselves solidified, be good. And if you have to stay local, that's fine. But solidify yourself in that local area. Be able to be able to go to, people can go to you and go to your reviews, and people can ask by word of mouth and say, oh, how is that business? Do you know anything about that business? I've ordered from them. They can, if they can't legitimately say, I've had great customer service with them, or I've never had better customer service before in their life, if they can't remember you, or if they don't have anything but positive things to say to you, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. Who are you selling to? Just because you're Black, or just because you're a Black-owned business, we're supposed to buy from you? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not because what you're doing to me is that just because you're Black, I'm supposed to go to your company and you're treating me like shit. I'm your customer. You know what I'm saying? I'm your Black customer that you want me to support, but you're treating me like shit. You're giving me horrible customer service, or you're giving me a horrible presentation. That doesn't make any sense. Put a sticker on a label or something. You know what I'm saying? Have a logo, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you draw it or your 2-year-old draws it or whatever. Let your brand have a template, okay? Go on PowerPoint. You know what I'm saying? Get a sticker, go to the 99-cent store. Make sure you get the same sticker and let that be your brand, boo. Okay? Stickers by us. Whatever you need to do, whatever you have to do. I know Hope is laughing, but I'm saying, like, I'm so serious. It's so disheartening because I see so many people with such amazing talent and such amazing progressive ideas, and even ideas that are just that are already on the market. Why would I go to a company if there's so many makeup companies out there? Let's say I'm not a mainstream makeup company, or I don't like mainstream makeup company, whatever. I go to a Black business, but let's just say this is pre-Fenty. I go to a Black business that's selling makeup specifically designed for Black women. I go to them and I get horrible fucking customer service. They don't got any labels on their fucking makeup. Their shit's all oily. They have not done any research on Black women and their undertones and what they need chemically for their skin. They have not done anything to do the market research on you're charging me $25 for this fucking product, but I know you spent 5 cents to get the damn case, or I could have went to the 99-cent store and got something even better. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, do better. We can do better. That's all.
Well, well then.
Yes. So I'm tired of it. I just feel like we as a community, if we want to have, there's a reason why, you know, we're already late in the game as it is as a culture, because we're just now coming out and we're just now being able to have our own businesses. We're just now being able to have our own specific banks. We're just now being able to build generational wealth that is not even past the generation. We've only done it within this generation. There's white people that have eons and eons of wealth in their family. Their children's 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 are going to have fucking money, and they could not work for 4 millennia from now, and they're still going to be rich. There's a reason for that. I get it. I know it's hard out here for a pimp. But the bottom line is, if we're going to compete with that, we have to do better. We have to have brand awareness. We have to make sure that we are understanding what's going on in the market and how we can market to our own people. Hello, it's not hard. Rihanna did it. Yes, I know she's a millionaire. Whatever. But she took the time. Rihanna, honestly, her stuff could have came out and it could have been a flop. But she took the time, instead of just coming out saying, oh, I have a clothing line, or I spent $100,000 on this clothing line or this market or whatever. She took the time, she researched what Black women need, what women of color need, what are the problems with other makeup companies that Black women are having problems with. And she specifically catered to Black women first, and then other women of color as they expanded out. That's called market research. Pay attention, okay? Like, it's not that hard. It's not. Ooh, hello? Are you there? Oh, okay. I thought I lost everybody. Okay. Woo.
Oh,
look at Hope. Look at Hope, looking gorgeous. Okay, there we go. But that's all I got. Hope, you got anything? 50? I mean 50. 50's gone, by the way. Sorry, he had to leave a little earlier. Miss Free, you got anything?
No.
Okay. Well, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. Hope, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, sponsored by Astroglide.
Astroglide. Every bottom stream. Anyway, so yes, the more you know.
Brought to you by Astroglide.
Yes. Don't forget, you guys, Blazers out there, don't forget to go ahead and check out After the Blaze with our wonderful sister and brother, Hope and 50, by going to entertheblaze.com and also checking out our other episodes on Blaze Entertainment with Miss Free and I.
At me.
So I know it's real. So don't forget, you can follow Hope on Twitter at Hope Disguise and 50 at 50 Shades of Ghey, and there's an underscore. Go to entertheblaze.com for that. You can also follow me at Cyrus11 SYRIS and Miss Free at Miss Free Miss E Free 23. Also, don't forget. I don't know what Hope's doing, but don't forget. Don't forget to check out our Mother Network with our amazing other podcasts by going to www.pyromedianetwork.com. That's PYRRO, medianetwork.com. And yeah, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Don't forget, next week, After the Blaze and Blaze Entertainment is off for Halloween week. Give us a break because we need it. We will see you the following week after that. We love you guys. It's been fun. It's been
Bye,
real.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.